to treat with equal contempt the violence of the storm, the protests of the crew, and the fears of the passengers. And when his men attempted to force him to make for the shelter of a bay nearby, he flung the ringleader overboard. But even as he did so, the clouds opened, and a form alighted on the quarterdeck of the ship. This form is said to have been the Almighty himself. The crew and the passengers were stricken with fear. But the captain went on smoking his pipe, and did not even touch his cap when the form addressed him. "Captain," said the form, "you are very stubborn." "And you're a rascal," cried the captain. "Who wants a peaceful passage? I don't. I'm asking nothing from you, so clear out of this unless you want your brains blown out." The form gave no other answer than a shrug of the shoulders. The captain then snatched up a pistol, cocked it, and fired. But the bullet, instead of reaching its target, pierced his hand. His fury knew no bounds. He leapt up to strike the form in the face with his fist, but his arm dropped limply to his side as though paralyzed. In his impotent rage he cursed and blasphemed, and called the good God all sorts of impious names. But the form said to him, "Henceforth you are accursed, condemned to sail on forever without rest or anchorage or port of any kind. You shall have neither beer nor tobacco. Gall shall be your drink, and red-hot iron your meat. Of your crew, your cabin boy alone shall remain with you. Horns shall grow out of his forehead, and he shall have the muzzle of a tiger, and skin rougher than that of a dogfish." The captain groaned, but the form continued, "It shall ever be your watch, and when you wish, you will not be able to sleep, for directly you close your eyes, a sword shall pierce your body. And since it is your delight to torment sailors, you shall torment them." The captain smiled. "For you shall be the evil spirit of the sea. You shall traverse all latitudes without respite or repose, and your ship shall bring misfortune to all who sight it." "Amen to that!" cried the captain with a shout of laughter. "And on the day of judgment, Satan shall claim you." "A fig for Satan," was all the captain answered. The Almighty disappeared, and the Dutchman found himself alone with his cabin boy, who was already changed as had been predicted. The rest of his crew had vanished. From that day forward, the Flying Dutchman has sailed the seas, and it is his pleasure to plague poor mariners. He casts away their ship on an uncharted shoal, sets them on a false course, and then shipwrecks them. He turns their wine sour, and all their food into beans. Sometimes he will send letters on board the ships he meets, and if the captain tries to read them, he is lost. Or an empty boat will draw alongside of the phantom ship and disappear, a sure sign of ill fortune. He can change at will the appearance of his ship, so as not to be recognized, and round him he has collected a crew as cursed as himself, all the criminals, pirates, and cowards of the sea. Such is the story as Père Pipi tells it. We may ask at once, what is the authority for it? Is it impossible that the legend, divested of its fantastic coverings, contains that kernel of fact which we have set out to discover? Was there ever a Dutchman who mysteriously disappeared off the Cape of Good Hope? Can we find credible witnesses who were prepared to testify that they had seen some phenomenon which they took to be Vanderdecken's ill-famed ship? These questions are fairly easily answered. The story, as we have given it, is found, with variations, elsewhere. But it is always a tale that is told, never an experience that is recorded. That in itself is perhaps hardly enough to discredit it, even though it is thereby rendered incapable of proof. The ordinary 17th century sailor was an illiterate person. He would return from his voyage and talk of his adventures in the taverns of ports, or he would discuss old times with his friends in the fossil. But he neither could nor would have committed his stories to paper. To the lack of written evidence, it is, therefore, quite reasonable to reply that the tale of the Flying Dutchman may nevertheless have had a basis of truth, that there may have been a Dutchman of evil repute.